Today, Jesus shares 3 different parables with us. Combined, they are often referred to as the parables of grace, giving listeners a reminder of God's grace and goodness. And we love these stories. They speak to us because each of us at some point in our life has felt unworthy. We have felt that we had done something that couldn't be forgiven. We felt that someone's compassion, let alone love, was undeserved. We know these stories because they are our stories. We see ourselves as the lost sheep, the lost coin, and the lost son. And deep down, we want more than anything, more than any material goods or fame, what we want is to be loved unconditionally and for someone to miss us when we leave. We want to be wanted. We want to be truly loved for who we are in spite of what we have done or haven't done. In this chapter of Luke, we encounter what Mark Twain called the greatest short story ever written. And he ought to know. The prodigal son parable is as timeless as it is intimate. In it, we read of unconditional love, a love with no strings attached. And yet we wonder, how have we received love with no strings attached? Or better yet, how important is it for us to be offering our love, especially to those who are closest to us, with no strings attached? Ernest Hemingway wrote a poignant short story called The Capital of the World. In it, he tells about a Spanish father who wants to reconcile with his son, who has run away to Madrid. In order to locate the boy, he takes out an ad in the newspaper. It reads, "Paco, meet me at the Hotel Montana at noon on Tuesday. All is forgiven. Love, Papa." Paco is a very common name in Spain. And when the father goes to the square to look for his son, there he finds 800 young men named Paco waiting for their fathers. What drew them to the hotel? As Hemingway tells it, it was the words, "All is forgiven." I noticed that the father didn't say, "All will be forgiven if you do this or that." Not, "All will be forgiven when you do such and such." He simply says, "All is forgiven." No strings attached. This seems to be the hardest part, unattaching the strings. It's said that the origin of this expression, "no strings attached," goes back to the ancient times when documents were written on parchment paper that were rolled up and secured with a string. The Babylonian Talmud, in Tractate Bava Metzia, tells of a man who gives his wife a bill of divorce on just such parchment. But he holds on to the string so that he can snatch it back, should he choose to do so. The divorce, therefore, is not considered valid since he will not give it freely. Similarly, love, forgiveness, and friendship that is given with strings and conditions attached are a sham and not valid, since they can be snatched back at any time. Here's the challenge of the story. This parable is not just a story to remind us of God's goodness and devoted love for each and every one of us. because we are just as much the older, frustrated son and hurt father as we are the younger son who left in the first place. I don't know about you, but I struggle with forgiveness sometimes. I've been known to hold a grudge if I've been hurt. I have been jealous when others get what I feel that I have deserved. This is something that I believe we all have struggled with at one time or another. But this is exactly where grace comes in. Not mercy, but grace. The difference between mercy and grace? Max Lucado says that mercy gave the prodigal son a second chance, but grace gave him a feast. Grace is not only not being resentful or jealous or angry, but rather going above and beyond to share in the joys of others, to celebrate one's coming home to God's family, and to being in relationship with someone once more. We all want a love that's unconditional, but we struggle with offering such love. This is precisely what God does for us and what we are called to do with others. When we offer that kind of radical love, it can change lives and it can change the world. There is a story titled The Rock, written by an unknown author who beautifully portrays the possibilities of no strings attached love. It reads, as she grew older, her teenage daughter became increasingly rebellious. It culminated one night when the police arrested her daughter for drunk driving. Mom had to go to the police station to pick her up. They didn't speak until the next afternoon. Mom broke the tension by giving her a small gift-wrapped box. Her daughter nonchalantly opened it and found a little rock inside. She rolled her eyes and said to her mom, "Cute, Mom, what's this for?" "Read the card," Mom instructed. Her daughter took the card out of the envelope and read it. Tears started to trickle down her cheeks. She got up and lovingly hugged her mom as the card fell to the floor. On the card were these words: "This rock is more than 200 million years old. That is how long it will take before I give up on you." This mother is not saying, "I will love you if." Instead, she says that she will love her daughter forever, and nothing can change that. No strings attached. When we treat someone a certain way, they will eventually live into the identity that they believe who they are. I'm going to repeat that sentence. When we treat someone a certain way, they will eventually live into that identity, believing that is who they are. This means that if we shower a person with love and affection and joy at who they are, they will begin to believe that they are, in fact, worthy of such gestures of love. When we shower a person with grace and treat them with God's love and radical hospitality, they will see themselves as God truly sees them. And eventually they will live into that identity. How we treat others matters, because it can easily become someone's internal voice and view about themselves. So what if we treat everyone as worthy of unconditional love and radical grace? Can't you imagine the younger son feeling overwhelmed by this party his dad is throwing in his honor and his homecoming? Don't you think that he might eventually see himself as worthy of the party? or at least try so hard throughout his life to be the kind of person worthy of such a display of love and affection? When the mother reminded the daughter that she will always be loved no matter what, perhaps that is what it takes to break through her tough exterior and begin to heal the broken soul inside that is acting out. When people are given unconditional love, they are changed. We have been changed by the love that God pours down on us. We have all faltered along the way, made mistakes, wandered, got lost, and perhaps even stormed off. But God has always welcomed us home. Who needs to be welcomed home in your life today? What strings do we need to cut so that they might truly know unconditional love? Let us begin the work of preparing for the Welcome Home Feast. Amen.